delay that lifestyle creep as much as possible. Figure out how you can make a home an investment like house hacking, which we talk a lot about on this podcast. Figure out how you can save more money. That might be picking up a couple extra shifts. That might be finding a more higher paying job. But I'm telling you, that's going to get you to financial freedom way faster than just cutting out a latte.
Welcome to the Physicians and Properties Podcast, the show where we teach you how investing in real estate can give you the freedom to practice medicine and live life how you want.
Doctor! 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 Doctor!
Now, here's your host, Dr. Alex Schloe.
Welcome to another episode of the Physicians and Properties Podcast. In this episode, we're going to do things a little bit differently. I want to mix things up from time to time where we have some just solo episodes. Just me talking about different things that I've learned or different things that I've been thinking about. So these will be shorter, more bite-sized episodes with tangible information and hopefully some things that you also find interesting and that you also want to share. As always, you can really help me out by sharing this podcast. So if you know someone who would benefit from the Physicians and Properties Podcast, please like, subscribe, share this podcast with someone that you think would benefit from it. I really appreciate it. So I want to ask you a question. How many lattes would it take to save up enough money to buy an investment property? How many do you think? 5,000? 10,000? Who knows with the price of inflation these days? Maybe 10 to 20 lattes. And that depends, of course, on the loan product and the price of the home. But let's go ahead and take a look at the median home price right now in America is $436,000, $436,800 to be exact. If we're restricted to using a 20% down loan product, that's going to be $87,360 that's needed for a down payment. And let's throw in closing costs and say all in, we're going to need about $95,000 to purchase this investment property. Again, different loan products exist. There's the no money down physician loan, which I love. There's 10% down vacation home loans. Of course, you can raise money, private capital, but let's pretend that you are coming out of pocket $95,000 to buy this investment property. How many lattes do you think it would take to save up enough money to save up $95,000 to buy that investment property? Well, as of right now, and this changes every minute with inflation, a tall white chocolate mocha is $4.65. Now, let's be honest, guys, if you're listening, you know you love the white chocolate mocha. I'm going to be honest. It's fantastic. Am I embarrassed every time I order it? Yes. Do I care that much? No, because it's so good. Starbucks, if you want to sponsor an episode of the Physicians and Properties Podcast, please feel free to reach out. Anyways, a tall white chocolate mocha is $4.65. So if we were to do what a lot of gurus say, which is just make your coffee at home, avoid buying coffee out, save that money, invest that money, it would take 20,430 white chocolate mochas to save $95,000 to buy that investment property. Again, 20,430 white chocolate mochas to buy the median home price investment property at 20% down. So I don't know about you. I love white chocolate mochas, but I haven't come anywhere close to drinking 20,430 of them, and I never will. So skipping out on a latte is probably not going to get you to financial freedom. The principle is sound. And I want you to hear this. I'm not bashing saving. Saving money is so important. Frugality is so important. And as physicians, if we can delay that lifestyle creep as much as possible, if we can delay the urge or the desire to buy the new fancy Tesla or the huge house, that's going to get us way further along in our financial freedom, way further along in our investment journey than just cutting out lattes, unless you're going to cut out 20,430 lattes. So really important for you to hear this. If you're a medical student, if you're a resident, if you're just getting started, delay that lifestyle creep as much as possible. Figure out how you can make a home an investment like house hacking, which we talk a lot about on this podcast. Figure out how you can save more money. That might be picking up a couple extra shifts. That might be finding a more higher paying job. But I'm telling you, that's going to get you to financial freedom way faster than just cutting out a latte. If you're cheap like me, though, you still just brew a pot of Folgers and have that every morning. And if you love coffee as much as I do, you probably drink 20,000 lattes a year. But the point is, buying the latte at Starbucks or making it at home is not going to make a significant impact. in your journey. I've also been thinking a lot lately, and I'm a very frugal person. My wife, Stephanie, knows this, and I've been trying to work on this. I've been thinking a lot lately about something I heard called the 10-year rule. And my buddy Brian Lubin with the Action Academy podcast talks about the 10-year rule a lot. And honestly, I think he's the one that came up with it. But since I heard it, I can't stop thinking about it. What the 10-year rule means is if you have financial capability to buy something or spend money on something, such as a trip or a toy or an experience, and you're going to remember that in 10 years, you're going to tell stories around the campfire in 10 years of that experience, of that thing that you spent the money on, then do it, buy it, purchase it, because that's so much more important. We only live one life. We only have one life full of incredible moments. So if that experience, trip, toy is going to bring you joy and you're going to talk about it in 10 years and you can afford it, go ahead and buy it. Sure, it might bump things back a little bit on your investments. It might be a little bit less money that you're able to save, but you're building up the bank of incredible life experiences. And that is more important than investments, I would argue. An example of this for us in the Schloe family was a camper. We've been wanting to buy a camper for years, and we've been talking about it for years, how much fun it would be to take our son camping, to take our son out into the outdoors, for us to get away from it all and have that time in nature. We live in Colorado, so there's so many beautiful places and so many incredible opportunities out here to camp and explore. And I'm going to be honest, it took us a couple years to build up the courage to buy this camper, not because we couldn't afford it, but because I was scared about spending that money and not investing it. This is before I thought about the 10-year rule, before I heard the 10-year rule. And I tell you what, we've owned this camper for about 6 months. We've gone on multiple trips already, and it was worth every penny. To see the joy in my son's face, to see him splashing in mud puddles and building forts and catching his first fish, it's worth every penny. So if you want to, go ahead, skip that latte. That's totally fine. But I'm telling you, pushing that lifestyle creep as much as possible while also enjoying life as we travel through this journey is going to be worth it. Don't forget the 10-year rule. And, in the future, if you find this interesting or you find this helpful and you purchase a trip or buy something that you're still talking about or think you're going to talk about in 10 years, I want to hear about it. So share it with me. Go ahead and like and subscribe Physicians and Properties podcast. Share that with a friend if you think that's helpful. We'll be back next week with another expert interview, another medical professional who's just crushing it in their real estate journey or in their financial journey. So be sure to stay tuned next episode. Hope this was helpful. Take care. Hey, real quick, if you're still listening to this, I'm assuming you got value from it. So I need your help specifically. My 2-year vision with this podcast is to help 100,000 physicians learn how investing in real estate can give you the freedom to practice medicine and live life how you want. There are 2 main ways that a podcast grows. One is through ratings and reviews, and the other is word of mouth. If you can please leave me a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as well as send this to 1 to 2 friends that you think would get value from it, we can reach the physicians that we want to reach. Thanks in advance, and talk to you on the next episode. Please note that the information shared on this podcast is for informational purposes only. It should not be considered financial or medical advice. The views expressed on this podcast are those of the host and the guest and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Department of Defense or the United States Air Force.